Hello everyone, my name is Stolf and I will be guiding you through today's lesson. In this lesson, we will explore activities for the Grove button module. The button is a simple actuator used to alter states in your projects, where the button rebounds on its own after it is released. The Grove button module is a simple sensor. It only has two modes, which is the on and the off. This is more commonly referred to in the Arduino language as the high and the low states. Pushing the button activates its high state while releasing it activates its low. For our first activity, we want to view the button state through the serial monitor. Its hardware setup will be plugging in the Grove button module to the digital pin marked D4. This label is also found in your breakout board. Please note that if you haven't taken the module out of the breakout board, there is no need to connect them. Once you've plugged in your Grove button using your Grove cable to your Grove base shield, attach the shield to your Arduino Uno. Then, connect it to your computer.
The first thing we're gonna do for our button is knowing its state via the serial monitor. So first we define the button and its pin. Again, button here is user defined, so you can set it whatever you want. We also introduce a new variable, button state, which is introduced using int because it holds a number value. In setup, we identify whether the button is used as an input or an output, and use serial.begin to set the data rate in bits per second for the serial data transmission. 9600 here is our speed. For our main code, we use digital read to read the state of the button, whether it is high or it is low. And we use the conditional statement if, wherein when the statement we set is proved true, it will perform the commands set below it. In this case, if button state is high, which is the one read using digital read, it will print button is activated. Button state is equal to high when the button is pressed. If button state is detected low, the button will be showing that it is not pressed. So it will print in the serial monitor that the button is deactivated. Once we upload the code, we open the serial monitor and we will see that when the button is pressed, it will print button is activated, and when the button is not pressed, it will print button is deactivated. The next project we will be doing is controlling the LED using the button. So what this does is when you press the button, the LED will turn on, and when you don't press it, it will be off. So we define the LED and its pin. Then we set whether the LED is an output or an input in the setup. And lastly, we just add digital write on the following if conditional statements. Digital write LED high if you want the LED to turn on, and low if you want it off. In this case, when the button state is high, LED will turn on, and when the button state is low, the LED will turn off. We save this as a new file and upload the code on our Arduino. Once the code is uploaded, when you press the button, your LED will turn on, and when you let it go, it will turn off. We open the serial monitor, and notice the serial monitor will also print the LED state and the button. So it says button is activated and LED is on when the button is on, and when it is not, it says button is deactivated and LED is off. For our last project, we will only be editing the code from our previous activity. So we will remove anything that relates to LED right here. We will also add the variables activated and count. The activated will be for our conditional statement, and the count for our counter, which will all be used in our code later on. In our setup, we are going to initialize our counter to start at 0 by typing in serial.println 0. For our conditional statement, we want to set two conditions for the counter to start incrementing by 1. And these are when the button is pressed or in the high state, and when our variable activate is set to 0. If these conditions are not met, then the system will not count. The code line count plus plus is what's responsible for incrementing our variable count by 1. And to see this value, we place the serial.println after every count. After that, our activated variable will now be initialized as 1, thus the counter stops counting since the conditional statement is not satisfied anymore. Once the button is low or released, the activated variable will be initialized as 0 again, and our system will wait till the two conditions will be satisfied to start counting. So once you're done, save file as button_counter or whatever you want, then upload the code on your Arduino.
Now that is it for this lesson. To learn more about the other modules, simply head on to the next video.